Breaking news today. The cost to Israel of a war with Hamas will be well over $50 billion. The Calculist, an Israeli financial newspaper, reported on Sunday that, based on estimates from the finance ministry, Israel could spend as much as 200 billion shekels, $51 billion, on its war with Hamas in the Gaza Strip. The estimate, which the Daily said was equivalent to 10% of GDP, was based on several factors, including the war being contained to Gaza and not involving Hezbollah in Lebanon, Iran, or Yemen, and the eventual return to civilian life of the 350,000 Israelis called up for military service. The ministry, according to Calculist, considers 200 billion shekels to be a optimistic estimate. However, the government has stated that it does not support Calculist's findings. On October 7, Hamas gunmen from Gaza carried out the deadliest attack in Israeli history, prompting the Israeli government to launch a massive bombing campaign against Gaza in an effort to wipe out the terrorist organization. Defense costs, according to Calculist, would account for roughly half of the total cost, or 1 billion shekels per day. The loss of income would add another 40 to 60 billion shekels, business compensation would cost another 17–20 billion, and restoration would cost another 10–20 billion. Finance Minister Bezalel Smotrich has previously said Israel's government was preparing an economic aid package for those impacted by Palestinian attacks that will be bigger and broader than during the COVID-19 pandemic. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu pledged Thursday that the state would assist all those in need. "My directive is clear. Open the taps and channel funds to whoever needs them," he said, though he did not provide specifics. "Identical to what we did during COVID. We have spent the last decade building a robust economy here, and we will pay whatever economic price the war demands from us." S&P lowered its outlook for Israel's rating to negative after the war, and both Moody's and Fitch put Israel's ratings under review for possible downgrades. On Friday, Hezbollah Secretary General Hassan Nasrallah praised the Palestinian militant group Hamas for revealing what he called a weakened Israel and threatened to intervene in the war to protect Gaza from Israeli attacks. As fighting between Hezbollah and Israel has raged along the borders, Nasrallah gave a major speech in Lebanon, his first since the Israel-Hamas war broke out in early October. Hundreds of cheering supporters gathered in Beirut to watch the speech on a giant screen. Hezbollah's leader appeared angry and emotional as he described the humanitarian crisis in Gaza as a result of the Israeli siege and declared that he would adopt any option at any time to respond to the crisis if it was in the national interest of Lebanon to do so. He also expressed concern that Israeli attacks on civilians in Lebanon could lead to a wider conflict. He said, "What the Israelis do to Lebanon will also affect our response. On the front in Lebanon, we are considering all of our options." The fighting between Hezbollah and Israeli soldiers has largely consisted of exchanging artillery and rocket fire over the past few weeks, but it has been nearly daily and the deadliest in years. Israel has surrounded Gaza City, the Hamas stronghold, and fighting has moved into the city itself, prompting Nasrallah's threats of escalation.